So I'm watching this Cowboys documentary, and it's great. I mean, you could nitpick it and whatever, but it's a lot of fun, right? It's a cool history to dive back there.
Well,
The one,
listen, let me just stop you there.
yeah,
I don't know how much fun it was. I went out to LA. I interviewed for like an hour and a half, and then the director calls me and says, "Hey, Steve, we're not going to use your stuff."
that's what I'm about to
What?
say. The glaring omission from dude, they totally skip over. That was a huge part of that whole team and the development of that dynasty was when you get taken in the supplemental draft after Troy gets taken first. So this is great. Screw them. I get first. I get the first shot at this. All right, we're taking this
Well,
off the cutting room floor. What was
listen,
that like for you to be thrust into that situation by a guy who I would imagine is a great mentor of yours, Jimmy Johnson?
yeah, I mean, he picked me up from the airport. He's like, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to trade you if the right opportunity comes along." But he really did like having two guys. Obviously he had a high level of trust with me. He knew Troy. He recruited Troy back when Troy was coming out of high school, so he knew Troy and his reputation and what kind of person Troy was. So he felt like he was going to be able to trust Troy, but he really liked the idea of having two guys. Although we were young, two quarterbacks going in and competing. He loved, yeah, like any coach, you love competition.
So it is. I just want to go back a little bit because it's super interesting. I would imagine Jimmy Johnson came into your living room, right, and recruited you in Minnesota, and now he's
He didn't
picked
want to, but he did. Yeah.
you. So then he's picked you up from the airport, and I was recruited to play in college. Like I know what those relationships are like. It's kind of like a father-son deal in a way. It can be. So he
Yeah.
picks you up at the airport when you're going to play for the Cowboys, and he explains to you, like, look, this is going to be an opportunity for you to get a ton of great tape out there and really be a part of things. But when the opportunity comes along, like he was that transparent with you, I'm going to put
He
you in a good
was.
spot.
Yeah, he was. I mean, it was like, he's, they always throw in, hey, you go into camp and you compete. I mean, you just don't know how guys are going to react. Obviously, Troy was an incredible talent, but he had, when you win that many games, coach quarterback type relationship, similar to what, ultimately what Brady and Belichick had, right? There's just a trust level that is hard to replace until you do it with the next guy. So, that was something that him and I had because we had been through the battles. He saw how I prepared, he saw how I handled adversity, and was obviously confident in my ability.
What was the vibe between you and Troy? I got to ask you that before we move on. Like, because people don't know. We hear about it. Anybody,